This episode of the DolphinsTalk.com podcast is sponsored by Caneswear. Caneswear.com is the spot where Miami fans shop. That's Caneswear.com. Caneswear.com, the best and most affordable gear for the Miami Dolphins, the Miami Marlins, the Miami Heat, the Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers, all of the professional and college sports teams in South Florida. Caneswear.com has you covered. If you're in South Florida, you can visit the storefront at 2655 South University Drive in Davie. They ship internationally as well. So Caneswear.com, make it the place. It's the best and most affordable Miami Dolphins gear. That's Caneswear.com, Caneswear.com. And don't forget about Dolphins Talk Extra. Go to patreon.com/Dolphins Talk for additional Miami Dolphins content. You get extra access to our private Discord server. You get bonus podcasts covering the Miami Dolphins. You get off-topic content as well. We have live watch-alongs. We have retro rewatches where we watch old games and talk about them. We do off-topic shows. We have prizes, contests, all kinds of exclusive access only for Dolphins Talk Extra subscribers. So join us, patreon.com/Dolphins Talk. You can join the fun for as little as $3 a month. Head on over to Dolphins Talk Extra at patreon.com/Dolphins Talk. And now, on with the show.
Hello, everyone out at Dolphins Talk. My name is Marissa Marino, and joining me today is former Miami Dolphins offensive tackle, the famous Mr. Richmond Webb. Richmond, how are you doing today?
Hey, Marissa, how you doing? You caught me off guard with famous, but I'll take the compliment. But I'm just glad to be on here with you today. How you doing?
I am good, and you are famous. If you are a Dolphins fan, or even not, if you can respect an offensive tackle, you are famous. So
I appreciate that.
Let's get that straight there. If anybody wants to, make sure you follow Richmond on Twitter. He's at Richmond Webb. He always posts some great things on there. So Richmond, there's a lot going on with Dolphins coming up. So are you ready to just dig right into it?
I'm following your lead. I mean, training camp started, it's what everybody's been waiting for. Once the Super Bowl is played, I think it sets into reality that we won't have football for a while, but it's back again, and it seems like everybody's re-energized and all that. So definitely looking forward to the season starting.
First night of football tonight with that Hall of Fame game. Can't wait to watch it. So, all right. Well, the first thing we want to talk about is the Dolphins are doing something super cool this year, and they're going to be playing in Spain against the Washington Commanders, and you are actually going to be there. And through Executive Global Tours, they have done a package for Dolphin fans to attend the game, and they can attend the game with Mr. Richmond Webb. How excited are you to be going to this game, and have you ever been to Spain before?
I have not. I bet I'm definitely excited. I've had some friends to go to Madrid and to Barcelona, and all I've heard is great things as far as the food, the architecture and stuff like that. Is a lot older than what we are in America. So, I see stuff like that on TV and just amazed at the detail or the attention to detail that it did in some of those buildings and old churches and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to it. But I've been to fortunate when I was playing, we played in Mexico City, we played in Tokyo, and we played in Berlin. So
okay.
I've had a few experiences about that, but I never had the chance to hang out with the fans, and that's what I'm really looking forward to. I took a Dolphins cruise a couple of years ago, and man, just had a really great time meeting a bunch of different people from all over the country. But we had that one thing in common, and just, I don't like talking about me. I like kind of learning about other people. But when I tell you, I really had a good time on that cruise. So I'm definitely looking forward to something similar over in Madrid, Spain.
What's funny about you saying that is most people probably want to talk about you because they want to talk about your time with the Dolphins. So might be a hard thing to do, but that sounds like a great time. And just so everybody that's listening knows, Executive Global Tours, they have packages for 6 nights and for 4 nights, whichever you prefer, and they're at different price points. Packages come with a game ticket, you get your flight and hotel accommodations, and numerous other perks. So everyone, make sure you visit executiveglobaltours.com for more information. You can also email them directly at info@executiveglobaltours.com. And including Richmond, there's actually going to be other players that will be there. We have players like Terry Kirby, Keith Sims, Mark Clayton, Mark Duper, Ronnie Brown will also be there at dinners, tailgate parties. You'll get to hang out with all of your favorites. So make sure you check that out. Man, I'm jealous, Richmond.
No, don't
You
be
go ahead and
jealous.
punch that passport one more time.
Just come on over there with us and have a good time. And when you were naming the players, I just thought about it. Keith Sims spent the majority of his career here with the Dolphins, but he also played for the Commanders. So we might have a little tug of war for him because I just know the type of guy he is, and people gonna love him. But I think it's just not only the game, but they're going to have tours where it can be food and wine experiences. If you play golf, they're going to have some golf outings. So I think they did a tremendous job as far as how they design the packages that you possibly can pick and choose, whatever you want to do, and then still get to interact with some former players and stuff. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. I don't play golf, but the food and wine experiences sound mighty good to me. So
that's up your alley, huh? You can handle that. All right. So let's get into Dolphins ball and what's currently going on right now. And let's talk about this upcoming season. And we're going to start off with your forte, the offensive line, because we all know it's a position you know very well. So we have Teron Armstead is out. And actually, at the draft 2 years ago, you were the one who announced the pick of Patrick Paul, and he'll be going in there for Armstead. What are your thoughts on Patrick Paul and how he may do this season as a starter for the Dolphins?
I'm looking for big things from him. He's got the size, the frame, the athletic ability. And then the other thing is to have a year to study up under a guy like Teron Armstead, that's one of the best in the business. And, just the way he handled things, he was kind of contemplating, retirement and wasn't sure if he was going to come back. But, some of the moves he made to free up money for the Dolphins, and then finally made the decision to, go ahead and hang up the cleats. I have so much respect for that young man. But Patrick Paul is, I think, him on the left and Austin Jackson on the right. And I've heard some things about him trimming down, getting a little leaner, this and that. And, Austin Jackson, he got hurt last year, but the year before, I thought he had a Pro Bowl type season. So I think we got two bookend tackles that probably can be one of the best as far as right tackle, left tackle combinations in the league. So main thing we got to do is just stay healthy. And that's for any NFL team, but health plays a huge role, but that's the main thing. And I think injuries kind of beat us up last year, but main thing, if we can stay healthy, that'll be huge for us.
Yeah, that I word, the injury bug, that's become like you don't say the F word, you don't say that. Now it's the I word. We don't say that because, it's really plagued this offensive line, and the depth going into this season for that O line doesn't go very deep.
It doesn't. Yeah. Then we got the young bucks, Jonah. I'm gonna just stay right there. Salva.
I think it's Savaiinea. I know it's like Hawaii, so Savai.
Okay. I did pretty good because I listened to you pronounce it, but after that, I tear it up again. But I've seen his film, and with him having the ability to play either the guard or the tackle position, but I think he's going to be a guard in the NFL. I think that's what we needed to really beef up the interior. And I know Eichenberg, he's on like the physical, unable to perform right now. But and I think we just got back Daniels, right? Daniels, he just came back. So,
and I've heard some good things out of camp from him so far. So,
and that's what we need. But I agree with you. Not just the starting five, but we got to get depth in the event somebody goes down, you don't want a huge drop off. And I think that's definitely the key, is not just having really great starters, but having some backups that can kind of solidify that in the event that somebody has to come out for a game or two or whatever, you still kind of maintain that same level of play.
I mean, Mr. Webb, you look like you are in good shape. I mean, if we need a call on you, you think you have anything left in the tank?
Evidently, this white hair must not be showing up on your screen over there.
That means nothing. Age is nothing but a number. It's about how you feel.
You too kind. You too kind. Trust me. But it wouldn't take long for me to know that I made the right decision years ago, trying to get out there with those young guys and speed of the game and all that. And I would just wake up some more injuries. The bad part about getting old is that mentally you still feel you can do it, which you could, but physically you can't. So sometimes your mind has to say, I know what you're thinking, but don't do it. So
well, we can all just dream about it then. We'll just
I
keep
like
it in our
dreaming.
dreamland.
I like dreaming. Yeah.
All right. So moving on from that, let's talk about another big topic, and that's always going to be Tua. He's going into year 6. I mean, what are your thoughts on him? Everywhere you hear healthy, 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 self-preservation, take care of himself. But when he is healthy, let's say he's healthy, he's at the top of his game, do you think that he is a quarterback who can lead a team to a Super Bowl?
Yeah, I do. And I'm not just saying that because of, I think the thing, and I think it was maybe last week or earlier this week, I saw a little clip from him on Twitter. And it made sense to me because everybody always says, you know, you got to get down, don't risk it, don't try to do that. But as an athlete, if you've ever played the game and you're competitive, you're gonna try to do whatever you can to help your team win. But it's a balance, it's a fine line. So the way he explained it, because I was sometime once, hey man, just get down this and that. But if you're a competitor, yeah, you might know you need to get down, but if you think you can get that first down and keep the drive going, you might risk it. But when he's healthy, he's one of the top 10 quarterbacks easily in the NFL. So I think, and we see the drop off when he's not in there. And I think that's what Dolphin fans should focus on. So in order for us to have success, I think he's got to stay healthy. And I think he's starting to understand that. But I had to give him some grace because when he kind of explained it the way he did, it was like, I understand you've played at a high level from high school to playing at Alabama, and now you're in the NFL. And, even when you go against, like, we're playing like Josh Allen, this and that, or say like we go play Jaden Daniels. If that's one of the up and coming guys, you want to put your best foot forward just like they do. So I get it. And I think he gets it. And I think this is the year we kind of, long as we stay healthy, and I'm not just talking about Tua, I'm talking about, like you say, offensive line. We've had some injuries in the secondary.
Ooh, we'll get to that, but ooh.
Yeah, we've got us, and that's the key. And we're having them early, but a lot of times you still got to find guys to replace. I've seen Kader Kohu, and he's going to be out for the season. I was like, here we go. But, injuries is a part of it, and we just got to make adjustments. And I think the good thing is it happened in training camp, and now it gives other guys a chance to come in, whether you're coming from somewhere else or whatever, learn the defense, get those reps, and try to pick up where he left off.
Yeah, and there's still a lot of guys out there on the free agent market. I was looking at the list. So I think they're going to need to bring somebody in, but we shall see what happens with that. And speaking of this defense, they're getting back some really key players that we all know and love. Bradley Chubb, didn't have him at all last year. Jalen Phillips is coming back. We have Sealer, who hopefully will get his contract figured out. But regardless, he has been showing up and doing the work. And then Chop Robinson, NFL Defensive Rookie nominee last year. What are your thoughts on the Dolphins defense? And then also this secondary, I mean, we talked about it, but who do you see, since Kader Kohu, I think, was a lot of people's number one, who do you see on the roster stepping up?
Yeah, I haven't looked at that part yet. I
Yeah.
think as far as a leader in the secondary, I definitely think getting Minka back. We did the swap with Pittsburgh for Jalen Ramsey, but getting Minka Fitzpatrick back, I think that's going to be huge because a lot of times your safeties kind of, make sure everything is in place as far as the coverages and stuff like that. And, he's an all pro safety and, he was here and then, you know, got traded to Pittsburgh, but now he's back. So definitely happy to have him back. And like you said, Chubbs and Phillips, along with Chop Robinson. I mean, that's a three-man rotation that, in the event that you get against a team that's consistently throwing, you can keep your guys fresh and they can keep consistent pressure on the quarterback. And I know those guys are hungry to get back out there
Mhm.
and get their timing and stuff like that. So Sealer is just the guy. He's an unsung hero to me. I mean, he's one of the best players on the defense. Always comes to work, doesn't look for notoriety or anything. He just goes out there and makes plays, and I think that's why people love him so much. But I'm sure the Dolphins are going to get that contract worked out. But yeah, I think the thing is just seeing like you said, Chubbs and Phillips. Those are two. Not that it's necessarily a question mark, but it's just such a breath of fresh air to see those guys back out
Mhm.
there and competing with the defense. And I think everybody's looking forward to that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and you spoke about Zach Sealer. I've had people here on recently with like NFL Network and ESPN, and even they like have nothing, like no one said one bad word about Zach Sealer. I mean, everything is just so good. It's like even people who haven't met him, they can just tell, and it like emanates and like radiates off of the guy. I
Yeah.
mean, you want a team of Zach Sealers, like that kind of mentality on your team.
Yeah, he does things the right way. He just goes out there and make plays, and then a lot of times when guys are going through contract negotiations or whatever, sometimes it can get ugly, and not just necessarily with the Dolphins, but I've seen it with other clubs. It's just part of the business. But
Hmm.
his professionalism and how he's going about it, still, continue to do the things they're going to take care of him because he's a vital part of the of that defense, and I know they know that, and so I'm sure they're working on the numbers and keep in contact with his representation, and they'll get it worked out. So I'm not concerned about that. But man, like you said, you can't have a bad thing to say about a guy that comes to work the way he does and carries himself. Even that's what they want all NFL players to kind of model, and he's
Yeah.
that type of guy. So yeah, he's that.
Absolutely. Well, talking about a different kind of player, let's talk about Tyreek Hill. That final game of the season, walked off the field in the middle of the game. After the game, he questioned whether he even wanted to be in Miami. Other players have said, and even Tua has been upfront about fixing his relationship with the team, and that it's going to take a little bit of time.
Yeah.
When you played, did you ever have a similar situation with a teammate you played with? Have you ever seen something like this before with that? And then also on top of that, what are your thoughts on this whole matter with Hill?
Yeah, I haven't. I think Tyreek is one of the best receivers in the game, and uh, that's something you never want to do because, like you said, now they're going through damage control. I don't think people question his work ethic. I remember when he got here, he probably outworked everybody there. So he set the tone
Mm,
coming from Kansas City of what it takes to why they were going to, Super Bowls and the playoffs and stuff like that. So he's a natural leader, but it's a lot of weight that comes with being a leader. And you got to be able to be a leader when things are going good, and you got to be a leader when things are going bad. And it's just not a good look when you kind of walk or shut it down on the team, and they're depending on you, and it just wasn't a good look. And so now you've got to go through that process of kind of redoing everything over again as far as getting that camaraderie or building that trust, like you say, back with Tua, this and that, because him and Tua, they've had so many electric plays in the past, but at the same time, you want to be able to count on a guy in the event that things are not going the way they are, because if we win together, we lose together, and that's the mindset you got to have. So I think once things settled down, he did come back and apologize, which, that's part of being a man and being accountable.
Yeah.
But you just can't afford to continue to let that happen. This should be the one and only time, but it definitely wasn't a good look for him, because I think so many players and fans just held him in such a high regard, because
Mhm.
I think he was even dealing with a wrist injury or something last year, and he was still going out there playing. So it's not his mental toughness or anything like that. It's just maintaining a level head when things are not going the way that you want it to, and you still got to go out there and compete. So, yeah.
100%. Totally agree. Now, when you played in Miami, while it was never ideal or fun to play in the cold and snow because your body probably acclimated to that heat, you all did play well in it for the most part, and you won quite a few games in those conditions. Why do you think this current group of Dolphins players struggles with playing in the cold? Do you think it's just how the roster is built, the players? I mean, some of these players have played in cold weather in college. I mean,
Yeah.
what do you think could be going on here with these cold weather games and this narrative?
Yeah, I think it's a narrative they got to work on. I don't think I think the main thing is, I would put it as more sometimes is playing away and playing at home. And in the playoffs, you typically got to raise your level of play another notch, because it's not like a regular season game where you can lose and then you go play the next week. Is you play this game, but you got to win in order to continue to play. And when it's probably, with the equipment and doctors, maybe 80 people that's on the sideline with you, and 70,000 rooting against you. I think if you can get the offense started and get it started early and establish a rhythm and take the fan base out the game, I think that's important. And that's just something we hadn't been able to do early on. And when the offense can't get any type of rhythm and you keep your defense out there too much and they get tired, it just snowballs into just not good.
Snowball. I like how you threw that in
Yeah.
there with cold weather.
It's just not a good thing. So I think it's just I think they know what they got to do is just going out and doing it and getting started early. And at times there were times where we went into those games and we had several injuries, and you don't want to go into a game making excuses, but you're not the same team without, several key guys. That does make a difference. But when you're playing the game, you're not going to say, well, if we had Marissa today, that wouldn't happen. But you don't have her, but you like, look, we got to try to win this game regardless. But a lot of time injuries do play a huge factor, and that's been some of it as well.
Listen, Richmond, if they're resorting to me, the team has really gone downhill. We got some real problems.
I got you. You can roll with me. So no, we're gonna be
There
all
you
right.
go.
We're gonna be all
We'll
right.
go eat food and drink together, and they can all do that. Okay, so you are one of the most beloved Miami Dolphins players in the eyes of this fan base. I mean, I've seen it on social media. Anybody who doesn't live under a rock has seen it. All the fans are constantly banging the table for you to get into the Hall of Fame. You also haven't played a game for the Dolphins since 2000. How does it make you feel that 25 years later, with this fan base, some people who weren't even born yet or were maybe in diapers when you played are so loyal to you and pushing for you so hard for this Hall of Fame?
Yeah, that's the part, when you just kind of interact with people on social media. But I've actually met some of these people either at the game at East 12, down coming to the games in Miami, or even in Canton. Was it last year Zach went in, and
Mhm.
hanging out with them is just, it's just a genuine love. And I think people appreciate what you did while you played. And to see Zach get in, it was like, okay, we got Zach in, you're the next guy. So when people do stuff that they really don't have to do, or they keep beating the drum and saying, hey, this guy deserves it, it keeps my name out there. And it's been even other fans from other NFL franchises that have even chimed in and say, no, this guy deserves. So it brings attention and awareness to it. And, I'm indebted to them, and I'm just grateful because they don't have to do it, but they're on a mission. And when they're on a mission, I just kind of get out the way. I say, yeah, y'all do y'all thing. I'm gonna just stay out the way. So normally I was the guy blocking for them, but they blocking for me and creating a hole to try to get me in there.
I love that. I mean, if you had two eyes or even one eye and watched you play back in the day, I mean, you would, doing the same thing, and it's rightfully deserved. So we're rooting for you at Dolphins Talk. I can't wait for the day that happens, and we're going to put it out there that when it happens, because that's the goal. So
Thank you.
Of course. So we are going to wrap up with a thing that we've been doing at Dolphins Talk. It's Dolphins Talk Speed Round, 5 questions with Richmond Webb. And I'm going to ask you 5 different questions, and just off the top of your head, whatever comes to you as fast as you can, we're going to put those answers out there in the universe. How do you feel about that?
Hey, I'm on the hot seat. Let's go with it.
All right. Question number 1. This is an easy one. What is your favorite sandwich and why?
My favorite sandwich is probably a good smoked brisket sandwich with some onions and pickles and little barbecue sauce on it. I mean, just growing up here in Texas, but everybody does brisket now, but a good tender brisket sandwich is hard to beat that.
Ooh, that sounds, I haven't eaten lunch yet. That sounds real good, Richmond. I'm not going to lie. All right. Number 2, let's say a genie grants you a wish. Either Texas A&M can beat Texas for 10 years straight, or the Dolphins beat the Bills for 10 years straight. Which one of those are you taking?
Ooh, I would probably take the Dolphins because, and I'll tell you why. Well, both of them in the same kind of similar situations, but I just remember when I played the Bills went to 4 Super Bowls in a row, and if we could have got over that hump, it's a higher chance that we possibly could have made it to or had a shot at the Super Bowl. But they were really good. But I would love to see the Dolphins, like you say, win some playoff games and make it. So I think that road goes through Buffalo. So yeah, I think I'd take Buffalo.
We appreciate that answer. All right. Number 3, honest answer here. Will the Dolphins make the playoffs this year?
Yes.
There you go. Number 4, did you keep any pieces of memorabilia or game-worn items from your career?
Yeah, I have. I think I have my helmet for winning my rookie year. I got some old jerseys, and then I got a couple of like jerseys and pants from when I played in like some of the Pro Bowls. So yeah, I do still have some of that around. Some stuff you just try to keep, but yeah, I do have some of that.
Okay. Well, make sure you just sign one and just send it my way. I'll get you my address. Okay. No worries. All right. Number 5, not counting Bruce Smith, who was the toughest defender you had to block in your NFL career? And then bonus part, which pass rusher gave you the fits?
Man, I had some tough ones, but I would probably say Derek Thomas was pretty tough. He was different. He was a linebacker, but he was so fast, and then he would run so low to the ground. I'd probably say Derek Thomas, Pat Swilling from the Saints playing down there with that in the dome. That was tough. Maybe Andre Tippett. He was a little old when I first played with the Patriots, but he was a hand to deal with. So I've played against all of them, but Bruce was by far. But
that's why we was like, well, that's a no brainer. We got to take that one out of there.
Yeah.
We're making you go back here. Well, that was all of them, Richmond. You killed it. Way to
Did
go.
I? Okay.
You did.
Yeah. Hopefully the fans agree with you. So we won't wait to see.
There you go. All right. So I really appreciate you being on the show, and I want to just again tell everybody, if you want to hang out with Richmond Webb, have some drinks, have some good food, have a good time, make sure you check out Executive Global Tours. Again, 6-night, 4-night packages. You get your game ticket, flight, hotel accommodations. You can visit them at executiveglobaltours.com or email them at info@executiveglobaltours. And again, I mean, you're going to party with him and all these other great Dolphin fans. I mean, sounds like a blast to me.
We're gonna have a great time. If you got time and if it makes sense, financially, man, come hang out with us. And I'm sure you're gonna have a great experience, because I'm looking forward to hanging out with the fans and doing that. Like I said, I had a great time. Every time I've done it or been around the fans, I've had a good time. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. And if you can swing it, we'd love to have you over there. And then, I haven't been to Spain. I'm looking forward to that. So I think it's a great trip. And if you can come out and do it, hey, I'd love to meet you, see you, and hang out with you.
Well, there you go. Again, make sure you follow Richmond on Twitter at Richmond Webb. Richmond, any parting words for this upcoming season for Dolphin fans before we get out of here?
No, just I just Marissa, you brought up something before. I've retired. Well, my last game with the Dolphins was 2000, and not having to win a playoff game since then, 25 years. I'd like to see the Dolphins break that bit. I just want to commend the fans and stuff for hanging in there. That's not an easy task to continually go through that year in, year out, year in, year out. And I think we're about to break through. And I thought we were a couple of years ago, but for whatever reason we didn't. But I just appreciate them being true law fans and hanging there with the Miami Dolphins. And I think I speak for my former teammates, current guys that play for them, this and that. You don't know how much that means, that when things are not going good and you hang with us, that means the world to us, because it's easy to hang with us when everything's going good.
Absolutely. And you can't see it, Richmond, but it costs a lot of money to cover all the gray hairs this team has given me now. So, I'm ready for a win here.
I think we all are. I know that's right.
All right, everyone. Well, thank you all so much for joining us. Mr. Webb, thank you again for joining us. It was a pleasure. And for everybody out there in Dolphins Nation, we hope you have a great rest of your day, and fins up.
Fins up.
Hey everyone, Mike here from DolphinsTalk.com, and thank you for watching this video. Please be sure to take a second to smash the like button here on this video, and also to ensure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel. We thank you so much for listening, and we know there are a lot of podcast options out there these days regarding the Miami Dolphins and with non-Miami Dolphins podcasts. So we do appreciate you giving us a few minutes each and every day to tune in and listen to all of our shows. Everyone here on staff, thanks you so much. And if you enjoy these shows, also please be sure to sign up for Dolphins Talk Extra, our Patreon service, at patreon.com/Dolphins Talk, where we have bonus podcasts about the Dolphins and some shows not about the Miami Dolphins. We have a private message board. We also have a ton of contests where we give away really cool prizes, and it's all for the low cost of $3 a month. Again, that's patreon.com/Dolphins Talk. And also, please be sure to follow the written content we have up on our website. So check out the website, DolphinsTalk.com, each and every day. Once again, thank you again for listening. Take care, and we'll talk to you again real soon.